Hi guys, yeah, just getting the last few bits ready. I think I've got everything I need on my desk. Yeah, obviously carrying on with the sprue built modular Necromunda stuff. Yeah, so just give me a couple of seconds, just a few more things to click on, and then we'll be underway. I hope you guys are all well. Obviously, yeah, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment to say, yeah, everything sounds good. And I say, I'm just going to let people know that I am on. Hopefully get a few more people watching. And then we can see how the things that I made yesterday, how they turned out. As obviously all the sprue goo has now obviously dried, which is cool. Right, yeah, I think it's all working. Let's take that off. Oh, not that one. That one and that one. So, hi guys. Yeah, so obviously carrying on from where we kind of left off yesterday. I say everything I did yesterday morning. I didn't really do any more than what I did in the morning because obviously I had other work to do. So yeah, so I'm going to be seeing everything basically how you are. So obviously the main thing that I was working on with this one was obviously I started off by doing the floors. Obviously it's going to be modular, that's why I've got three sort of floor or bases. But I'm going to build stuff on each one of these, and then basically it's a case of you can put them together in any kind of fashion, and they should obviously like tie up and link up. Because it is going to be Necromunda, I'm making sort of like refinery pieces. So it's going to be like gas tanks, tubes, walkways, ladders, a couple of levels as well. So the idea is obviously there's different levels on these, and when you have them near each other, some of the walkways or gangplanks, whatever you want to call them, will sort of line up, so obviously your figures can move from one piece to the other. But obviously the idea is it's modular, so these can be assembled or moved around however you want. And then ideally, obviously, you'd make loads more of these, so you could just build a huge area or have lots of different areas. So yes, that's obviously the main thing about making modular things, is you have that variety of obviously changing it and moving it and just making it look different from a previous game or scenario or whatever you want to call it. So yes, obviously, and again, like yesterday, I will be doing some filming of this. I say, because if you were here yesterday, you would have seen me making these. Literally, it was just a case of taking a sprue and then getting some good old ooey gooey sprue stuff, basically putting that in the in all the gaps. And so that's what I did yesterday. Put it on greaseproof paper, because then as you'll see in a second, it just sort of peels away nicely. And yeah, obviously it's the underneath of this. I want to see how it looks. I mean, I'm hoping it's going to come out as good as when I do the do these panels with the hot glue gun. So that's what I'm hoping. But obviously, rather than hot glue gun, it's with sprues. Obviously, the main difference is the hot glue gun dries in about 5 minutes, or if that. So you can basically use it straight away. Whereas obviously the ooey gooey stuff takes a good 8 hours to dry. So I did these yesterday morning. So I left them on the side. Didn't look at them at all last night. Thought I'd wait till this morning so I can get to sort of see how they've come out with you guys. And I'm hoping these come out kind of like this. So when I come to spray it, you'll be able to see sort of like panels. Just because I think that would work well with sort of the Necromunda sort of grim dark kind of look. Obviously there's other little bits and pieces that I did do yesterday. I did some more of these obviously half disc things, and there's a variety of things that I'm going to make into sort of tubes. Obviously did quite a few stuck that I like wrapped around pencils and pens and things. So again, we'll see how they've come out. Right, I'm just going to organise my desk so it's tidy, because I don't like it being messy. Yeah, guys, obviously if you are there, there's a few people there, I think. Yeah, chuck something in the comments. Even if it's just to say hi, and I'll say hi back. Obviously, any questions, if you can put at Miniature Hobbyist in your comment, it just highlights it on my screen and makes it a lot easier, yeah, for me to see, really. Simon's hobby workshop is at school. Steve does a similar modular version using the sprue frames for making orc buildings. Yeah, level 1, 2 in 3 levels. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's why the whole modular thing is quite a good way to go, because it just gives you that variety of mixing it up. And when you make something, you can use it in whatever sort of game or scenario or whatever you're doing. But then you can also change it to reuse it, but completely make it different, which is kind of pretty cool. Is that Zerianis? Hello. Hello to you. Apologies if I've ruined or mispronounced your name completely. So yeah, I'm going to put some things aside, and obviously there's one of those panels. Oh, that's soft and bobbly. Oh yeah, there must have been a big old air pocket in that. Right, what we'll do is we flip that over. No, it's not too bad. I mean, what it is, because normally when I roll these out, I roll them out, and within about an hour or so, I take these off, just because obviously then the air gets to it and they dry quicker. Obviously, I forgot to take these off, and obviously that's why it's still soft. So we won't be using that one for a while. But say, 'cause this is going to be like a refinery, I really want it to be made up more of sort of pipes, like a gas cylinder, walkways, and that sort of stuff. So it's not really going to be a lot of sort of panelling, I wouldn't have thought. It might be, I mean, because generally I kind of, close enough. Yeah, I was so bad with pronouncing names. Yeah, I want it to be more sort of walkways and gangplanks and stairs and sort of bits and pieces rather than sort of like enclosed buildings. Because obviously this is only going to be like quite a small little sort of area as well. So I'm also going to be using the Gundam sprues, because someone kindly sent me a box of these, and I've had these, I don't know, I've probably had these a good 9 months, maybe even a year. Never used them. So I'm not even sure if these actually melt like normal sprues. I'm not sure, maybe you guys might know. But yeah, I'm going to use these because obviously these are going to be ideal for making ladders and some small pipes, because obviously they're nice and round. So yeah, they'd be pretty cool to use. Right, so it's going to change something. There we go. So yeah, so say I haven't done anything else other than what I did yesterday on the stream. So I will be obviously filming lots. Because I want to, obviously I'm quite excited to see what the underneath of these is like. Although to be honest, even if the underneath hasn't come out how I wanted, the actual top isn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, so get that painted, and that can look like some sort of like rough metal texture with just sort of big rivets or something coming up. So yeah, so even the top I quite like. It's called getting old and forgetting things. It is. Yeah, Steve, you're right. I mean, because I say I did what I did in the morning with this stuff, put it to one side, then just cracked on with other things, and yeah, didn't even give it a second thought. The unbroken barb. How long can you shelve sprue goo? The longest I've had goo in here and not obviously used it in any way, not even taking the lid off, was about 7 weeks. So long as the acetone is still above it, then there's no reason why it won't still be soft. It's only when obviously the acetone evaporates, which it kind of shouldn't do, or if it does, it'd be very, very slowly when the lid's on. But so yeah, I definitely had some of this sitting on the shelf for about 7 weeks, and then I went to use it. It wasn't as soft and gooey as it is obviously like now, but it was still gooey enough that you could like sort of scoop it out and then do stuff with it. So yes, I can't see why it can't be left in there indefinitely, so long as this acetone is above the level of the goo. Because then it's obviously not drying out. So that's why obviously I always use a glass jar, because obviously it's a nice airtight seal, and obviously I know the acetone isn't going to melt melt the glass basically. Rightio. So this is why the acetone sheets are really good, because it just peels away really nicely. Like I was saying, I did actually glue this down, so it might peel away nicely, but in the corners it might get stuck. So let's get a blade to hand as well. Raven, morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're well. I hope you're all well. Hope you're well and enjoying your Tuesday morning if you're in the UK. Obviously, it could be Monday night if you're in somewhere else, or even Tuesday night if you're the other way somewhere else. Right, let's have a little look and see how these are turned out. Let's go for the single one first. Yeah, it's not come out too bad. Again, the good thing is, because the kind of thing I'm making, the fact that it has got these little, well, where the acetone would have been built up, sort of like air holes, it kind of adds to the effect. So this is going to be painted, so it's like metal. So having these holes is fine, because it just be like it's rusted sort of metal. I'll show you these up a bit closer in a second. To say, because I'm filming, obviously I need to do it for the camera that's in front of me. But yeah, so I'm pleasantly happy with these. So yeah, as you can see, there are obviously, these air holes are normally caused where obviously there's a big build-up of acetone, and then when it evaporates, obviously it leaves, well, air holes or pockets behind it. But yeah, so when this is painted, all these little holes are going to look like rust, because obviously this is going to be painted and it's going to look like a rust bucket. So I can obviously add more rust areas or rust paint on any of these areas that have come out a bit sort of funny. So yeah, so this is going to work really well. So I'm really pleased with how these have come out, basically. Yeah, well, I say that the top side, because the top side's got like more crinkly crackly, this would be really good for Nurgles. If you were doing some sort of Nurgle base, I think, because obviously the texture has come out like it's like skin. So yes, you've got the best of two worlds here, really. One side is like a Nurgle sort of base, and the other side, being a bit more flatter, is definitely more like a metal sort of base. So yeah, I'm pleased with how they've come out. Yeah, so the fact that obviously my plan is to build some bits on here. Any walkways, I'll have them sort of going across, and then one going across the other side, so they obviously meet in the middle. But then obviously if you turned it around the other way, then obviously you're just going to get a walkway with a big drop, which again would work well for a sniper sitting up there, or whatever figures you're using on this kind of board. So I've got me lonely orc. I've got the little figure. He's out to obviously give me a gauge in size, scale, obviously how wide I need to make walkways, just to make sure he can obviously walk along it, basically. But yeah, so I know this is the side I'm going to be using, the flatter side. I do really like this crinkly skin effect on the other side. So like you paint that sort of like a brown or a grey or pink or whatever, and that would look like some sort of flesh. And I say it's almost been made like the floor has been made by dead people's bodies, taking their flesh and just stretching it out. But yeah, quite cool. So it's sprue stuff. Sprues, awesome. Hello, old man. Thanks for the wall tutorial. Well, I am old, so yeah, I'll take that. Luke missed most of the stream yesterday. Just caught up with your video. It's very cool. I'm already looking at buying some stuff to try some casting myself. Oh, the old tree one, yeah. Yeah, it's only because I think I made like 15 or 17 trees in the end. And I might even actually make more. To say the 3D printer, obviously, as you guys know, I love the 3D printer. The fact that I can just go on Thingiverse or any other sort of sites online, download things and then print them off is just fantastic. But when you want to print off a lot of one thing, I mean, at the time it doesn't really bother, because obviously if you set it going, you can go off and do other stuff. It's more because I wanted to get all the trees made and then painted, rather than like spreading it out over hours and doing other things. So that's kind of why I made the mould and then cast most of the trees, just because I wanted to get them done then and there. And basically I bought loads of casting stuff. So like silicone rubber, I've got loads of that. Well, I say loads, about sort of 2 litres of silicone rubber, and obviously quite a lot of the casting resin. So it's worth sort of obviously using it, and it's fun to obviously sort of, well, it's fun to do different things really. So that's why I did the casting, just because I say it was cheaper, quicker. I say, yeah, it worked out about half the price in the resin. So even with like a couple of pounds spent on the silicone rubber to make the mould, it still worked out cheaper because I wanted loads of one sort of thing. Obviously the trees, which is cool. Yeah, as Steve says, hit that like button, guys. Get that like button up. There's 24 people watching, and I've only got 17 thumbs up. I mean, I'm no good at maths, but something seems a bit wrong there. Right, so what else was I going to do? So I was going to do that bit. Let's have a look at the how the tubes have come out. Because this is going to be like a refinery sort of thing. It's going to be made up of obviously pipes, tubes, obviously like a gas cylinder. So the gas cylinder, again, anyone who wasn't here yesterday, basically I've got these silicone moulds, which are great for using with the ooey gooey stuff. Again, because you want to use something that doesn't stick. So like this was done yesterday. There you go. So it's come out a nice dome, and obviously it's as smooth and shiny as a smooth and shiny thing. But obviously it's kind of empty on the inside, so it's nice and light. And say, because it is quite thin, you can cut this with scissors, or obviously a blade. So the idea is obviously you're going to have 2 of these. There's the other. Is that the other one? That's the other one. Use the other nice one. So yes, I've got 2 of these. Obviously these are going to go either end of this, which will be made into, well, like a gas cylinder. So again, this will be trimmed, cut off. These will be attached either end. This will go onto one of those sort of base plates with a load of tubes, pipes, and other gubbins, basically. Again, I've got a rough idea of what I want to build. It's a refinery. But other than that, I haven't drawn anything. Sometimes I like to draw things and have a rough idea, but I've kind of got a rough idea in my head. So the rest I'm just going to sort of make up as I kind of go along, really. But yeah, so we'll see how the rest of these other tubes have come out. So again, these are silicone whatsits. From Amazon, you get a pack, and there's about, I think there's 4 different sizes. So the idea with these is, I think you normally use them for like resin casting. So obviously you can put the 2 together, pour the resin in, and then obviously take it off, and you've got a nice sphere. Which I have sort of done with the ooey gooey sprue stuff. When I made my Star Wars TIE Fighter, I used this. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And obviously you can make diddy little things as well. So again, these are just great little things that I can have on this refinery. Gubbins, basically, just to add sort of bits and pieces here and there. Right, so I'm going to film this bit because I haven't filmed me taking these tubes out. Yeah, obviously yesterday, if you were here yesterday, you'd have seen I was having problems rolling them up. And the reason I had problems rolling them up, because again, I forgot to do something, which was basically take one of the sheets away. So rather than having one sheet and then a sprue, then the other sheet, I should have taken the top sheet off and then rolled it. Which is obviously a lot easier than trying to roll 2 sheets, because as you roll them, they're both sort of like moving, which obviously isn't very good. Anyway, let's. Is the music too loud? Because I've got some music on in the background, so hopefully when I'm not talking, you can hear some music. But I just want to check that the music isn't too loud and you can hear me nice and clear. So we had a couple more people turn up. We've got Duffman is here, Ezra is here. Yeah, Melvin, we are all old, yes, all old codgers. Yeah, obviously Supreme, Screwdriver, yeah, Unbroken Barb. Yeah, we've got quite a few people here, which is cool. Yeah, it's so bizarre that I get more people on in the morning. It's just, yeah, which I say, it's really nice because for me, live streaming in the morning is so much easier than afternoons or evenings. Especially because come the evening, all I want to do is chill. And if anything, I want to watch someone else YouTubing. Right, let's have a little film and see how these have come out. So this is therefore when you do these wrapped up things, obviously this centre stuff, it's not as firm or as hard as the outside bits. Oh, this really hasn't come out very well. How did I do these before then? Because normally making pipes and tubes is easy. But for some reason, these really haven't come out very well at all. Goes to show when you don't make things from sprues for quite some time, you kind of forget how. Alright, so if we can just do that. It's going to make a tube of some sorts. That, did not use that bit before. What about this one? Is this one any better? Oh, this is still really soft. Yeah, I really can't remember how I made tubes then. It's bizarre. Right, let's get a pencil. I don't know what I've done with my pencil. Let's get a pen instead. Let's chop a bit off. But again, these kind of things, when I come to edit the video, I will leave these in. Just because obviously I have kind of forgotten how I made these so well before. We'll try that. So again, these sort of things I'm going to have to leave again for a good few hours before I can really use them, because they are still very, very soft. Lady Cassandra, I could tell one of those. Yes, it would be the sort of face, wouldn't it? It's, yeah. Yeah. Right, we'll stop filming. Yeah, generally even with these like bits that have gone wrong or the offcuts, I generally keep them as well. Just because obviously in the past I made a lot of orc stuff, and obviously because the orcs make stuff out of scrap, these are the kind of things that work really well in their sort of builds. So yeah, I try not to waste much stuff. I feel like small little bits, then I might bin them. But certainly the bigger bits are pretty useful still to keep, even if they've not come out how I initially wanted them, basically. It sounds fine, perfect. Cheers, guys. Just to say, I like to have music on, but I don't like wearing the earbuds much. So I've got the good old royalty-free sort of music, just so it can be on. Right. I think maybe I put too much sprue. Maybe I had less sprue when I wrapped it around the pencil. I really can't remember. I need to go back and watch my own videos to see just what I did to make some decent pipes. Because clearly I've forgotten. It kind of has been quite a while since I've done like a lot of stuff with sprues. The good thing is, because this is an old derelict kind of refinery, even if the pipes have got bits of holes in and they're a bit sort of cream crackered and seen better days, again that'll all fit in well with how it's going to be painted. Again, I think that's why, obviously I love orcs. Well, I've always loved orcs anyway. That's why I think I liked making things for orcs or with orcs, because they don't have to be neat, they don't have to be tidy, and if anything, sometimes they look better when they're a bit cream crackered. Yeah, God, this one I have rolled out very thin, this one. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be re-watching some of my videos, because whatever I did yesterday, it hasn't worked out very well. Right, we'll leave that again. We'll leave that for a bit. That might well harden up enough for me to be able to use. Right, it's going to clear my desk a little bit because, as you all know, I don't like a messy desk or a disorganised desk. Yes, I think the thing that I'm going to make first is the sort of gas cylinder, just because it's kind of like one of the bigger pieces. So I want to build this and then build some sort of like ladders, scaffolding, and then like a walkway, gangway kind of thing. So the good thing as well with the sprues, or the sprue glue, once it has turned back into like solid sprue, you can use the old cement glue on these. I tend to prefer to still use super glue just because it's quicker. Also, I don't like the fact that it's messy on my fingers, but it is quicker. Yeah, Steve may have left them in the paper too long. I'm not sure. I'm sure I've done it where I've wrapped them up, left them in the paper, and then they've come out fine. Yeah, I'm not too sure why, because say some of them seem super thin as well, which is weird because if they're super thin, normally they dry quicker. I don't know if it's because it's getting colder at night that they're taking longer to sort of firm up. I'm not too sure really. I don't really know. Right, so yeah, we'll film me doing this. So scissors, glue, that's kind of all I need. But so this is the bit I really love about this, the fact you can just cut it with scissors. Because basically it's come out like sheets of plastic. So yeah, like any sheet of plastic, you just cut it with anything really. Right, so I'll make sure I don't make it too big. Well, so there's a gas. Yeah, that'll be alright. So we'll also cut here as well. Again, we can cut these. Because what I'll do is I'll put this together, I'll glue it, and then I can go over the gaps and seams with the ooey gooey sprue stuff. Because obviously it's a great thing to use for filling gaps basically. But we'll try and trim it up fairly as neat as we can. Yeah, all these offcuts, I have put them back in the jar of ooey gooey stuff, but I've always found these don't dissolve as well a second time. I'm not too sure why, but yeah, I always find if you put these back in there, I don't know if these contain something different or if the fact that they've changed into sprue and then changed back again, there's been something different changed in them. But yeah, I always find if I put these in there now and then left overnight, when I come to get the goo out tomorrow, I'll get it out, but I'll find bits in there that are either still hard or a bit soft, or there'll be like air gaps, or I don't know, it's hard to say what it is, but there's something about these that don't dissolve well again. So yeah, I tend not to ever put stuff back in just because I say it's like, I don't know, I can't imagine how to sort of explain it. It'd be like putting something back in that's got other bits in it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so now all these bits, I mean, the thing that I would do with these, yeah, there's a build I did, the big workshop. I made a workshop out of sprues. And basically all these little bits, I cut up into small bits, glued it together, and made it almost like a pile of old broken bits of sheets and metal. So yeah, so even these offcuts have got still a purpose, obviously for different kind of builds anyway. So, but yeah, I don't tend to put them back in, basically. Lisa, 3 AM in the morning. Well, it's funny, I actually woke up this morning at 3 AM. Because it was raining, it was lovely. I had the window wide open. The rain was coming down really heavy last night, and the air was nice and cold, but like fresh and just nice. So yeah, so I had my window open at 3 in the morning, and I did a couple of texts actually at 3 in the morning. Yeah, but so could you not sleep then, Lisa, or were you just excited to come along and see if I was online? Right, so yeah, anyways, just joined. Obviously, the panels have come out really well. Yeah, I'm pleased with how they've come out. So even with the imperfections, but that's going to look great when I paint it. I can just paint lots of rust around these imperfections, and it'll look like the rust has well and truly eaten the metal. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, so I'm pleased with how they've come out. So I just want to make a cylinder, and then I'm going to make some walkways, some gangplanks, and just sort of general stairs. And say the Gundam sprues are pretty cool because obviously they're nice and round, so these will work well for making sort of certain structures, frameworks, ladders, and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. So especially when I've got a box of them and I've not used them, at all. David Denham, I have hundreds of sprues. We'll watch you from now on. Well, I'm not doing as many sprue builds as I used to, but if you have a look, I think I've got a playlist of how to make things out of sprues, and you'll see I think there's about 40 or 50 sort of small little things to do with sprues. But then obviously if you look at the bigger builds, you'll be able to see that I've made an Orc Stomper, Orc Battle Wagon, Gorkanaut out of sprues, a Wizard Tower out of sprues, a Burger out of sprues. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Well, maybe I shouldn't have cut this first because I think I'm going to have a bit of a gap. That's fine. It can be filled with, well, with something. Or should I have that so it's on the outside? No, it looks silly. Yeah, at least you love the rain as well. So this is obviously the downside. I don't like about using super glue. It loves skin. Right. So say it doesn't really matter about the gaps at the side. So this bit at the front, I'll put I get a panel of sprue, put it down there, and then lots of like rivets on it. So it'll look like it's, well, the bit that's riveted basically. And any gaps in along the top, I say that's what the sprue glue is great for filling in gaps. Just because obviously you get on a little tool, put it on there, smooth it out. Yeah, it's perfect really. Oh, the other thing to be good, guys, if you can. So I seem to be losing my throat. Yeah, bizarre. If you're on a computer, guys, and obviously you're watching me, obviously you are watching me. If you're on a computer, if you can open up another tab and go and click it on one of my videos, that'd be awesome. Just to try and get more views, really. How dare they? 2 people have given me thumbs down. But the good thing is YouTube doesn't care about thumbs down, so it's still interaction. So it's fine by me. What was I going to click on? I was going to click on something. No, I've forgotten what I was going to do. Right, that should be glued. We'll do the other side and say then I'll get some filler, do a bit of filler in. There's a bit that's stuck there. I'll see if I can get that off. If I can't, then it'll just stay there. And again, it'll be painted so it looks like more rust really. And then one big gas cylinder coming up ready to use. So I'll just give that a second. While it's doing that, I can get my tool ready. So just spreading out, like say the gaps here, obviously huge big gaps. But yeah, that's what the sprue glue is great for. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go through on those panels and fill in any of the holes with the sprue glue. But say I like the idea that it looks like that will be bits of metal that are just eaten by rust. Very important question: Yorkshire or PG tips? I don't drink tea, so I can't sort of say yay or nay to either of those. Yeah, sorry. Don't really drink coffee either. Well, I say that I did kind of used to drink tea when I was a kid, but I used to have about 4 spoons of sugar in it. So I wasn't really drinking tea. I was more drinking hot, sugary water. But yeah, I'm guessing by the name Duffman, I reckon you're Yorkshire. Don't know why. But there you go. Right, so what's that going to be? That might be long enough. Let's use this bit. Is that even allowed here? Well, I don't normally tell people I don't drink tea, because yeah, it probably is kind of like frowned upon. Definitely the black sheep of the family. Use Vaseline or barrier cream to stop glue sticking to me. Dip my fingers in the acetone. Yeah. Well, the other thing is, don't be a messy little bugger and get stuff on you. But unfortunately, I do. Just trim that a little bit. Should be filming some of this really. When they take my passport away. Yeah, if they take it away, then I'm stuck here. You think they'd deport me more than anything? That'll do. Finger. Right, give that a couple of seconds, and then so we'll get some ooey gooey sprue stuff and fill in the edges, and then I can get that positioned somewhere on one of these, and then we'll get some gang planks and other bits and pieces. Yeah, so by all means, guys, if you are on a computer and you can open up another tab, click on some of my videos, watch them as well, or have them just sort of playing while you're here. That would be awesome. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I've suddenly remembered. Oh, that's not the tab. As you can see, there's a lot of talking to myself goes on in this. Cool. Right, so yeah. So again, so this stuff is great for filling in gaps. Obviously, there's quite a lot of gaps on this. As I don't mind, obviously, there being little holes here and there, because that'll work well for rust. But some of these gaps are obviously humongous, and they won't look too good. Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to get that off, because that's kind of basically the sheet's just like stuck to itself, that bit there. So I'm going to have to leave that there. And then when I come to paint it, that can just be a bodged patch bit that they put on here. So again, we'll film this and we'll film it nice and close. So this jar, basically I filled this up last night full of obviously sprues and off-cut nibbly knobbly bits. And yeah, so obviously it's come out lovely and soft. And just spreads really nice. And so the good stuff about this is obviously once this has like fully hardened, as in the acetone has evaporated, this obviously goes back to being like the solid plastic. Pardon me, which you can then sand down or file or cut with a knife. Yeah, whatever you need to do to it. So it's certainly a great filler. Apart from the fact that obviously you have to wait 5 hours, 6 hours, or whatever for it to harden. But say the fact that then it's got rid of all the obviously all the gaps at the top. Once this has dried, I can just give it a quick light sanding just to make it look obviously neater, basically. I wonder what would happen if you took a sprue sheet and put it in a tub with acetone. It would partially dissolve and it would give you a decayed wall effect. I don't know, maybe. I've not tried. But yeah, I mean, it was certainly, if you didn't leave it in there, I wouldn't leave it in there too long, because when I say it won't dissolve, it will dissolve. It just doesn't go as soft. Like I say, when I pulled this stuff out, you can see it's like a lovely and soft. Whereas when I've like put sprue goo back in the second time, it doesn't come out as soft. It comes out not lumpy, but just firmer and bitty. It's like it hasn't been mixed in nicely enough. But yeah, it would certainly sort of melt parts of the wall. That would look pretty cool, I would have thought. Just do the little seams down the side. The Unbroken's become an MH member. Well done. Thank you, buddy. I should get a food dehydrator. It will reduce the drying time a lot. Also works for great paint drying. A food dehydrator. Blimey. So that is the one problem about this hobby though. Obviously the amount of stuff that is to buy that you can have. It's like obviously when I did the made them moulds. What would have been a lot better for making them moulds would have been the old what they call them chambers, that obviously vacuum chamber that suck out all the air. Because obviously they'd suck out all the bubbles. So yeah, having all the tools obviously is ideal, but sometimes it's not always practical. Especially when obviously COVID has been around and, well, my work kind of dried right up. So yeah. Right, there we go. Oh, I forgot I was still filming. So we'll leave that. I'm going to say, because that is quite a thin layer, it probably won't take too long to dry. Maybe like an hour or so. I'll probably give it a light sanding, but not much of a sanding. I say, because I like the idea of this looking like it's beaten up and ready to explode. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to sand it at all, to be honest. I'm not sure. Maybe. So yeah, I want to sort of build some sort of, not platform, but like little legs for it. I want it to sort of go there. But then I want to have like walkways coming off of that. So the main thing about what I'm doing here is like a lot of framework. So probably with these sprues, lots of framework, and say bridges and walkways, just to have that variety of levels. And obviously, I think these, I think these pipes aren't going to work. That looks just a mess. So I think I am going to watch one of my previous videos on how I made the pipes really well. Because I can't figure out why what I did last night didn't work too well, or what I did yesterday didn't work too well. Because I can't think of what I did, but I've made pipes before and they've come out like pipes and decent, whereas these have come out like a dog's dinner. I mean, that just looks like a, well, I don't know, some sort of weird rotten tube on the end of a pencil, really, as opposed to what could be used as a tube. I don't know, it's very beaten. It might be all right. I'm not sure. We'll see when it comes to when it's firmer. We'll see what it's like. Because at the moment, it looks like some sort of weird hot dog on a stick. But well, kebab on a stick, but not the kind you like. Because I like kebabs, but not that one. Anyway, we'll leave those to one side, and we'll see what we get. Right. So I've got a lot of these Gundam sprues. Because the one thing I do like about these Gundam sprues, which I'm going to get in somewhere, is they've all, or most of them, have like this round centre bit. And again, for just sort of general framework to go on these boards, I think these sprues are awesome. Obviously, cut off some of these nibbly knobbly bits, but yeah, there's quite a lot of. Well, saying that some of the nibbly knobbly bits I'll probably keep on. But yeah, I think they're just pretty cool. And again, once these get painted, sort of like silver, rust, and all that kind of look. Yeah, I think they'll tie in really well with the whole sort of refinery modular system. So just especially because I am going to say, I think initially I'm going to build these three so they're kind of in line like that. But then say when they are built, you can then sort of move them around and have them obviously in different variety of positions really. But I think initially I'm going to build them so that's how they kind of go. So any walkways would go off of one onto the other. And I might have it so it goes one long walkway, but obviously when you turn it around, then the walkways are basically sort of falling off. That's when you want the old like big vat of poison underneath, so you push someone off or hit them off or whatever. Luke's pleased that I didn't do it with a vacuum, so it makes it more realistic to someone who hasn't got one. Yeah. I mean, it's that case of if I had one, I'd use it. But if you haven't got one, you can still do it. It's just that sometimes you will get air bubbles. There are some liquid resins that are better than others. And the same with silicone rubbers. Obviously, you can get more expensive ones. I tend to generally always go for, whenever I buy stuff, I buy what's not exactly the cheapest, definitely not the most expensive, normally mid-range, because I do like value for money. So I generally go for like mid-range sort of items when I'm getting them. Or if there's a deal, if it's like a more expensive item, buy it in bulk and it becomes cheaper. I sometimes do that, so I've got quite a lot of liquid rubber. Miguel, gracias por esos buenos. So I'm guessing you're saying thank you for the tutorial. You're welcome, buddy. Although I don't know how to say that in Spanish. I should do, really. No, I can't think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's get back to doing a bit of this because I feel like I haven't really done much. I think so, yeah. Because yesterday, making lots of bits and then having to leave them to dry. As I say, that's why I do like working with sprues, but sometimes it can be a pain because you can't just crack on and get it all done in one go. You really have got to make bits, put them to one side, go and do something else completely different because you have to wait good 5-6 hours, then come back to it, do some more. But even then you might do some more and then think, oh, I've got to leave this now before I can do the next bit. So yeah, as much as I do like sprues, it is a bit of a pain sometimes, and you do need to have another project on the go just so you've got something else to do. So say that already this is firming up because it is so thin. So yeah, I reckon in about an hour I'll be able to give that a light sanding. That's if I do, I'm not sure. Right, anyway, back to this. I'm going to put that somewhere there. I think we'll have that bit, so it's at the back so you can't really see it. Yeah. I think what I might actually do is actually just glue it to the bottom and then put some sort of like supports as though they're going into it rather than having it suspended, just because, well, it'd be easier gluing it to the base. Yeah, because the idea is to have that glued to the base, a few supports, but then obviously if these pipes had come out well, so I might still use that, I'm not too sure, then just have like pipes running along the ground. And obviously these Gundam sprues, cut these into nice thin lengths, cut the nibbly knobbly bits, and have them as like smaller sort of pipes. So basically, obviously, because it's a refinery, it's going to be made up of pipes and walkways is my main sort of thinking behind this, basically. So yeah, we are going to just glue that on. So I need to be careful when I'm obviously chatting away with you guys, but I need to keep thinking about when I'm filming what bits I need to film. So I don't need to film every single step or stage or what I'm doing, but I need to film enough so when I do my voiceover bit, it all makes sense, it all flows, and obviously you get the gist of what I'm doing basically. So yeah, we'll glue this on the bottom. I mean, the other thing is sometimes if you think too much about what you're doing, you then, well, for starters, you don't get much done. So sometimes just crack on, do it, and then part way down, if I think, oh no, I've done that wrong, then try and take it off and redo it. Obviously, it's easier said than done, especially when you super glue stuff, because obviously sometimes the super glue is, well, it lives up to its name. It's kind of super. So I hope you guys are all well. Obviously, you've gone a bit quiet. I'm still streaming, aren't I? And I can see there's quite a few people watching, which is awesome. Obviously, I'm just pleased you've got me on in the background. Because as I say, that's kind of how I see it when I live stream. I'm doing something I'd be doing anyway. I've just got you in my background. It kind of feels like it's going to stay there, but not quite. Because I might use normal. What are my normal sprues? Oh, over there. Yeah, I might use some normal sprues for the base. So that's what I like about some of the sprues have great nibbly knobbly bits. As much as I normally cut them off and dispose of them, sometimes some of these bits are quite cool looking. So obviously these all sort of like pointy, diagonally bits. I think they'll be quite good for the support or well, this is the base of this really. Alan is very frazzled after work. You're right, bud. Yeah, I must have. Yeah, I think I'm quite lucky with my work, being a wedding photographer. I don't think I ever get frazzled. Sometimes my legs are a bit tired, But I love my job. I love weddings. I love photography, which is obviously handy when you're a wedding photographer, I guess. Right, so let's have a little look, see what bits look good. Oh, that's the same as that one, isn't it? Yeah, I think what I'll do is me snips. Oh, that's still over there. Yeah, again, this is going to be made up, I keep saying, but this is going to be made up of a lot of sort of frameworks, just because I think the frameworks would work well with this sort of oil refinery. So I've had a look at a few sort of Necromunda built stuff, and say obviously refineries. So I've got a rough idea of kind of how I want it to look at the end. But again, sometimes it's fun just to make it and then just change it as you're going. I think I might just have a couple of these go around it just to give it a bit more support. I'm not sure. I've got no chance of saying your name. I mean PRZ. How do you say PRZ? Zemek is painted in Tech Marine. PRZ. That's crazy. How do you say that? Steve's making spruce trees. Just finished doing an order from the warehouse for the car workshop. And what's that? Flitting on Discord. And they say men can't multitask. Well, I think we can multitask. We just can't necessarily do all the things we're doing when we're multitasking well. Alright, so I'm kind of thinking I might just glue these bits down the bottom. Again, sometimes when you're doing sort of scratch built kind of things, don't worry about things having to always make sense, because I think that's kind of what I used to do when I first started making things. Everything I did, or everything I sort of built, it had to make sense. And I think sometimes, again, that's where if you think too much about things having to make sense, you don't get a lot done. Whereas, especially scratch built things like this that are futuristic, made up, then yeah, they can have bits on them that don't need to make sense, they're just there. Well, basically it's just gubbins, isn't it? Loads of gubbins. Morgoth. These sprue melting is also a good method to create Lego pieces. Really? You make Lego pieces from the sprues? That's pretty cool. Yeah, sprues, multi-use. So it's a shame these tubes haven't come out, because obviously the plan was to almost work around the gas cylinder as being one of the main sort of focal bits, then the tubes coming off of it, and then working out where the gangplanks, walkways and ladders sort of go from there. But I say, because these haven't, I mean, they're all like dog's dinner, they're a right old state. But so I think I'm still going to use them, just because they had a certain something to the build. Oh, pardon me. Unless I can actually get them off. Yeah, I mean they're bad, but they're not bad, I guess. Plus, after all, it's sprues, so sometimes you can't ask too much. We've got Discord. Yes, there is Discord. I don't think I've got the link for it, have I, in the description? Steve, if you're still here, you able to get the link up now? Yeah, because I don't think I've got the link sort of to hand. But yes, we have got Discord. There's a good few hundred people on there. About 260, 270, 280? I'm not too sure. Because to be honest, I've got Discord. I don't use it as much as I should. And I kind of think that's because I don't really seem to have a lot of time. I say at the moment I haven't got much time because I'm doing a lot of weddings. But once the weddings are over, then and I've edited them all, then I might have more chance to go on Discord. But at the moment, yeah, I really don't get on there half as much as I should really. Might just have the tube coming out there. Don't know. Yeah, the link isn't there. Yeah, Steve, you are a mod. I have to be a mod in Discord to be able to do it. Oh, okay. Right, if you give me a second, I will have a quick look and see if I can get the link for Discord. Oh, it's asking me if I'm human. Oh, this shows how long it's been since I've been on there. It's been about a week or so. It's asking me for a code. Right, where's the code going to be? Right, so yeah, it's going to send me a code because I've not been on Discord for about 2 weeks. Radio, here we go. Oh, loads of messages. Right, so I'm in Discord. How do I? Oh, invite people. That could be it. Okay, I'm going to stick a link in the description. I'm hoping it's one that's going to work. Technology, it's great when you know how to use it. So I've got a link, but I'm not sure if it's the right one. Right, there should now be a link in the description to Discord. Give that a click and let me know if it works, because I say I don't use Discord much. So I'm hoping that is it, but it may not be. And now I just have loads of tabs open. Why have I got so many tabs? Or send a server invite to link a friend. Yeah, that link should be okay. That link, it says here, no limit on the uses. It's working, cool. And the link lasts for 7 days apparently. There you go. Yeah, so guys, click on the Discord link. There's loads of people there, always showing what they do, sharing their tips and tricks and all that. I say I do get on there every now and then. Again, not as much as obviously I would like to, but I do get on sometimes. Right, yeah, so let's film, because I haven't filmed any bits. And I say so, I don't want to obviously, when I come to edit the video, you'll see me doing some bits, then all of a sudden it'll jump and I've done loads. It's like, whoa, what happened there? So yeah, we'll just do a bit of filming here, and I think what we'll do is kind of film this bit again. Yeah, and join the Patreon. Help support the channel. Means I can buy more stuff. Because I like buying stuff. Right. I was going to have some sort of framework here so I can start building some walkways. And so I quite like the Gundam stuff because obviously it's nice and round. I think it just lends itself more to being sort of supports, frameworks, and bits and pieces that you'd see sort of at a refinery. And again, they sort of come in a variety of bits and pieces, or a lot of these seem to be the same actually. Although these ones are a bit different. Again, better film some of this. Cybermat, did I hear you say you were a photographer? Yes, I am a photographer. Mainly weddings, sort of family stuff as well. Do a bit of all sorts, really, I guess. The only thing I don't actually do is landscape photography. I would love to do landscape photography, but it's one of those ones where it's quite difficult. Well, see, anyone can do it. It's a difficult one to get into to be able to sell what you take. So I know a lot of landscape photographers. They know people who obviously then buy their stuff. But yeah, I'd love to do some landscape photography. Would be quite nice. Just going out, just me and a camera, go to some hill, forest, mountain, and yeah, take pictures would be nice. But yeah, no, mainly people I take pictures of. That'll do for that. Do I like that super glue tip? Does it get clogged easily? I don't know if I missed something there. Does the super glue tip? Do I like the super glue tip? Don't know, what super glue tip was that? Be putting my hands in acetone? Super glue trick? A bit more off. So, but are things picking up with restrictions lifting? Yes. Yeah. People are starting to obviously plan weddings again, which is cool. I think a lot still are reluctant or hesitant though. So things haven't like fully gone back. Because yeah. I'm normally booked about 18 months in advance, but at the moment I'm not. I've not got as many weddings next year as I would have liked so far. So yeah, I am hoping people are going to start sort of planning things again. The glue, the nozzle, the spout. Are you again though? Are you talking about this nozzle or the cement glue nozzle? Because I'm not sure what super glue tip you told me about for this is what I'm getting at. Yeah, sorry. If I've missed something in the chat, again, this is why if you're asking me a question, it's best to put at miniature hobbyist in the comment, just because on my screen it sort of comes up. Steve, the burn flamethrower, yeah. Do you like that super glue tip? Again, I'm not sure if you're asking me, do I like the tip you've given me, or do you like the tip that I've given you? Again, I'm confused, guys. I'm confused. Right. So yeah, that's quite cool. Again, what I always find though, when you're building these kind of things, sometimes you look at it and you think it looks like bits of plastic that are just glued together, or bits of sprue that are glued together. I always find it really isn't until you start getting paint on these, and then they just change and look completely, obviously, how you kind of like imagine or want them to look. But yeah, so it's going to be like an industrial refinery, so there's going to be lots of sort of pipe work and bits and pieces, really. The glue in my hands. Okay, again, you're going to need to remind me. Are you talking about the fact... What? Does that fin nozzle get clogged? No. You're talking about this? No. That's why I love... Yeah, these things. Yes, basically, I've got loads and loads of these. You buy these. If this is what you're talking about, I haven't got a clue. I'm completely lost on what you're talking about now. Yeah, so with the super glue, this is great super glue because it's a cheap one from Amazon. It's about £3.20 for 50 grams, which I think is pretty cool because normally it would cost you about £5-6 for a really small one. So these are really great. Obviously, it comes with a lid. But I like to use these things because when you put one of these on there, you don't need to put the lid back on. So literally, this tube just sits by my desk, and it does eventually get clogged up if you don't use it often. If you keep using it, it doesn't get clogged up. If I didn't use this for like a good day, 2 days, the very end might dry up and clog up. But the good thing then is, as you can see, this one is super long, and this one not so much. When I put a new one on, I normally cut it so it's about 1.5 inches from sort of the end bit. If it does get clogged up, just snip that top little bit off. But what I like about this is I don't need to take the lid on and off. I just literally leave it. It's there. It's ready to go. And say these were dirt cheap, and there's loads. And one of them will last you 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So yeah, they'll last forever. If that's anything about what you're talking about. So, mate, yeah, I think they mean the needle-like nozzle attached to the glue pots. Okay. Well, I think the bit that confused me was I wasn't sure if he was asking me about some tip he had given me, because if he had, I didn't know what the tip was. Or about a tip that I've said. Either way, who knows? Who knows? What are the tubes called? I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue. Let's have a quick look. Because like I say, I bought them ages and ages ago, and say they just seem to last forever. So I'm not even sure what I would have typed in. Oh, there we go. These things on the end are called glue micro tips, or glue extender applicator, or glue extender precision applicator. There you go. For lab dispensing adhesive dispensers crafting. But yeah, glue extender. I would type in. Yeah, I say dirt cheap, and because of the size of it, I think they kind of go over most, or a variety of different sort of end glue nozzles that you would have. Sketch. Thank you. That's what I get for trying to have a small conversation. The thing is, though, it's probably miscommunication on everyone's part. And I think then what makes it even funnier, everyone jumps in, gives their little 2 pence, has their little guess, and then by the end of it, everyone's like, well, I don't know, what's going on? It's funny. Yeah, but say that honestly, that's why I love it. Well, the main reason I bought these, it was Bill making stuff. He was using a glue pot that had a long nozzle. I said, oh great, where did you get that from? And he said, oh, Wilko's. So I've gone down to Wilko's. I couldn't find the glue that he had, but I didn't realise, obviously, you get the glue pot and then you buy the nozzle separately. But I thought his one was, like the whole thing came as one. So initially I bought this because of the nozzle and the fact that obviously it comes out in a real small, I mean, you see like the long length of that. I wouldn't use the whole length because you'd have to squeeze really hard to get it to come out. But the thing I like about this is, like it says in the name, precision. It is, because obviously you can get like literally a little drop here and there. So that's initially why I bought this. But say the thing I really love about it, obviously, as well as the precision, is the fact that you haven't got to put the lid on and off, on and off. Because sometimes I did have problems with these where the lid obviously gets glue in it. If you don't put it on properly, air gets in there. Obviously the air gets to the glue, it hardens, and then you can't get the lid off. Or like the screw tap. But yeah, so two great uses for these things. One, obviously it is precision, you get a little drop exactly where you want it. And two, you don't need to worry about putting the lid back on and off. And there we go, that ends that little story. Right, let's get back to putting some stuff on here. Alright, so I'm thinking about doing another bit of framework. And then we need to think about how I'm going to make the walkways. I have to admit, I haven't really thought much about the walkways. Right, so obviously I've got my little box of bits and pieces, like leftover cut bits, so we don't need those because the other idea works. So yeah, obviously yesterday I went through the fact you can make these kind of panels. I'm hoping I've still got the mould. I've got a blue mould, get the ooey gooey stuff, put it in the mould, get the roller, roll it out, so obviously it's nice and thin, which is cool. And obviously it makes the imprint of what obviously you're pushing it into, which makes it look like it's corrugated metal, which again, great panels, nice and cheap and easy. And then obviously rivets. I make my rivets by obviously getting a piece of sort of this thing, got a hole punch out loads of holes, but obviously it's the rivet bits that have been punched out that I use. But then sometimes I use these bits just as they look, well, again, sort of panelling, but a cool bit of panelling that's obviously got lots of holes in. So when I do panelling with the holes, obviously I make the holes nice and neat. Obviously for this I was just literally going through quickly, punching loads of bits out because I wanted loads of rivets basically. Anyway, I've got off subject now because I want to make walkway. I don't know if I make a walkway with obviously sort of this. I thought it's quite cool for a walkway, a bit different. So yeah, I need to see if I can find the mould. Because I did a big tidy up the other day and I got rid of a lot of stuff. I'm not sure I got rid of the mould. So I'm looking over there, 'cause that's where the mould lived on my shelf over there. And I know it's not there. So it all depends whether I put it in a drawer or it's gone in the bin. And I hope it's not gone in the bin. Like I say, because making these panels, nice, quick, easy. And I say the fact they're like corrugated panels just works really well. Because obviously I did a video where I made containers. And that's why I made the mould. Just for the containers. And yeah, so I made them, so the actual length of these is a bit longer. Just to say, because I made like 4 or 5 of them, makes a container, nice and easy. So yes, I think I'm going to make these for the walkway. Yeah, I might be able to get 2 out of 1, I'm not sure. Anyway. Jota, I'm from Barcelona. Thanks for your work, you helped me so much. Awesome. Cool. It's always nice to hear. Yeah, cut the panel in half and then cut some edge bits to go on the side and then around edge as rails. Awesome. Well done, Steve. I think that's exactly what I will be doing. So it would be nice to have like one panel obviously go this way and then another panel on the other one. Just so it's like one long sort of thing. Right, let's measure and cut rather than just cut. Let's make sure I do get sort of 2 from one rather than 1 and a bit from one and then not enough from the other. Alright, let's go centimetres. I'll stick one in the middle as well. It looks like part of a wall that was shut up. Let's do a bit of filming again. So the plan is to get this all done this week and the video out Friday. I'm still optimistic I can do that. Again, it all depends on if I have to make more bits with the ooey gooey stuff. Then I'm going to leave it like, say, almost a day before I can actually use it. That's where, say, making things from sprues is quite a long process sometimes. Oh, pardon me. And there we go. My little man on it. Poor old lonely orc. Forever lonely. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll use some sprues, normal sprues, just to bulk out the walkway, and then, like you say, some of the round sprues are pretty cool for railings, which is nice. So yeah, we'll just cut up a bit of sprue. Jenna, what do I think about a 3D pen? I don't have a 3D pen, so I've never ever used one. I mean, they look cool. I've seen them, but yeah, I don't have one. I've never had one, so I'm not really too sure what they're capable of, really. I've cut them knobbly bits off, but they could be quite cool for where the supports go, actually. Yeah, let's get another piece. Oh yeah, I should be getting my army painter paint turning up Thursday, I think. So I'm pretty excited to start using loads of those. And they've also sent me some terrain pieces as well, which would be pretty cool. So I don't know how many people here use army painter stuff, but yeah, I'm going to be getting quite a lot of their paints soon. And again, if you follow them, they've just released a sort of teaser video where I think they're going to be doing contrast paints. I hope so. They haven't said that's what they're doing, but from the teaser video, that's what it looks like they're doing. And yeah, anyone who's watched me knows that I'm not rubbish at painting. Obviously, I'm not good at painting, but yeah, using the contrast paints is so easy and quick. Oh. It's like the my little fantasy female orcs. They were done with contrast paints, and yeah, it's just so simple and quick to paint with them. So yeah, I really am hoping the army painter is releasing some contrast paints, and hopefully, if they are, I'll be getting some of them soon. Right, which way shall I? No, I better that way. People use it to fill empty gaps in connections. Yeah. This tool in your hands would be epic to see. Well, I don't know if you saw earlier, I was using the sprue goo to fill in gaps in the sort of cylinder that I've made. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, 3D pen would be nice and quick and easy to use. But yeah, obviously using the sprue goo is just as good. Especially when obviously I've got loads of it and it's free. And so sometimes when this hobby can get quite expensive to sort of buy bits and pieces, it's like the glue. I mean, I'd hate to think how much I've spent on glue in the last year. So there's only like £3 a bottle, but I can go through them quite quick. And even the cement glue. I think that's more expensive than cement glue. But yeah, I've definitely gone through quite a lot of those. Because I think when I built the Wizard Orc Tower, and I made all those bricks individually out of sprues, and I glued them all together one by one, I think I went through at least a bottle and a half, if not 2 bottles, of the cement glue to do that. So yeah, it's like most things. Some of the bits aren't expensive, but when you get loads of them, it kind of all mounts up, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, I have spent quite a lot on this stuff. So again, that's why I'm really appreciative of all the patrons, because yeah, they're sort of like £2 a month does make a big difference to me in making me be able to buy stuff. Is that the 60 mega box set? I think the set that the Army Painter has sent me is, it might be 60 bottles. It's the D&D Dungeons and Dragons box set. They're sending me that, and their quick washers they're sending me. So yeah, I think there might be about 60 odd bottles coming. But yeah, so I really hope they are doing washes, because I love washes. Washes are like, it's like driving a car and then going to an automatic. Automatic's so much easier, and it almost drives itself, almost. That's kind of how I see contrast paints. They take away a lot of thinking, make things so much easier and quicker. So as you can tell, I am still bunged up. My nose, I've been bunged up for about, I don't know, about 10 days, maybe nearly 2 weeks. Best way to wash your hands after getting glue goo. Well, yeah, I tend not to get glue goo on my hands. If you see my video, my live stream yesterday, obviously I was wearing a glove because I was obviously touching the stuff straight away. Yeah, obviously this stuff is dried. I say, when you put it on really thin, it doesn't take long to dry. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, I'll stick to the desk. Poor old desk. Yeah. So make a couple of these. Well, I think I might end up going off. Yeah, if I were going off there actually, because obviously it's not quite going to reach. Not far off. But yeah, if it goes off there, because then I could have some like steps going up the side of the tower. That could go across. And I say, yeah. So the idea is obviously you have the next one. Have sort of the other part. Yeah. Just to say, I want to get sort of varying heights. I'll have a small little ramp down here, perhaps. Say little steps going up. Just a variety of pieces. I might have a couple of sort of little boxed areas. It could be like sort of small buildings. I say obviously very small buildings, like a little hut or a room or something like that. Control room, command center, sort of thing. Yeah, so we use some. Which one are we going to use? Oh, we were going to make some railings, wasn't it? That's the other thing I wanted to make. This one's probably a good one. Yeah, because again, these ones sort of cut in half could be about the right size. And so it's good to get 2 lots out of one then. So yeah, so we'll film this again because I need to keep making sure I need to film stuff. Look, I fully agree with the contrast paints. You can just highlight. Well, that's it. Yeah, just the highlights over the top. Yeah, awesome. Simple glue on hands. It's easy to move. A sanding sponge works so well. Yeah, I tend to sit there and just sort of pick it. Right, where should we have the camera? We'll have it down there. Right, so we can show that I've got that so far. And we're going to bring this in. This is just me talking to myself because, again, when I am filming, in my head, I'm roughly thinking kind of what it is I'm going to say when I come to edit the video. Just because that helps me then with, say, like holding something up to the camera and basically obviously showing what I'm doing. And somewhere along the here I'll probably be saying something about nibbly knobbly bits, just because, well, why not? And let's measure it so I can get it cut in half. Yeah, as you can see, I don't have a ruler. I just use a tape measure. I might get a ruler one day. That should be enough. Oh, I'm actually cut it shorter because I think the railings would look nicer. Yeah. I think we will cut it. Will I magnetise it? Yeah, I'm thinking of magnetising the bases just so they sort of like slot in better. I'm also thinking about using some tea lights. Just have some lights in it as well. I'm not sure. Again, it all kind of depends on time. Because I want to get this video out this week. I say be Friday, so that will sort of depend on whether or not I'm going to add more bits or not, depending on how well I get through it. So because I am working on quite a few other projects, and there's one that I'm working on that's quite a big one, which is why I'm doing obviously little projects in the meanwhile. Because the big project I'm working on, it's going to take me a good 2-3 weeks or more to get that one done. So yes, that's why I'm doing sort of like smaller little bits. Plus as well, again, it's like I like to have several projects on the go, because more often than not, whatever I'm working on, it needs or has something that requires something to dry, which is what I'm working on over there. Every now and then I do bits to it, then I've got to let it dry, do some bits to it, let it dry. So yeah, it's nice to have several things to work on. Again, I should have probably measured this rather than just cutting it, but hey ho. Oh, that bit's shot off. I'll find that in a few days' time. It's like that fear of walking on Lego pieces. Quite often there's sprues sort of flying about. Plus the boxes of sprues I've got are in my bedroom. And every now and then I go there and obviously like grab a few sprues, bring them out. But sometimes when I grab the sprues and bring them out, there's like small little bits of sprue that falls out with it, and they fall out on the floor. Obviously I don't see it at the time until I go into the bed that night, walk in there, and it's like ah, and just tread on a few sprues. So obviously some of them aren't too bad, but some of them have got like bits that like sharp little bits. Yeah, like these ones. Again, I don't know how you can see it in there, but it's obviously, well, as you know, you've got sprues. But yeah, some of them have like small sharp bits, and obviously when you step on them, it's not kind of ideal. Right, let's have a little looky. Yeah, I think that's all right. So again, what are you guys doing? Are you guys working, painting, watching TV? Are you doing anything else other than just sort of watching me? Steve, the fear of nibbly knobbly bits. They are as bad as Lego. They are. Well, they're kind of worse, like you say. They're worse than Lego because they are sharper. At least Lego, it digs in your foot and it hurts. Whereas these, you get like a small little bit, and yeah, it'll stick in your foot and cut the skin. Right, again, this is where if I'd measured it and cut it, it would have been a lot better, a lot quicker. But it's that old case of sometimes we know what we should do. Sometimes we think, nah, it'll be alright, I'll just cut it and wing it. And it's like, yeah, it shouldn't really. But hey, this whole hobby is meant to be fun, not strict, not rules, just fun. Well, that's how I see it anyway. Tyler's at work, waiting for students to get to school. Jody, yeah, the magnet tips to help me start doing little dioramas, and later with the magnets, if it fit on a big diorama, change the positions, more playable. Well, that's, it's like I keep looking over there, obviously, because when I look over there, that's where my sort of work stuff is. Some of the stuff I've finished, and some of the stuff that I'm still working on. And also, I'm making a big terrain board. It's, well, I say big, it's about 50 centimetres by 80 centimetres. So it's not big in the world terms of big on boards, but for me it's big. It's the biggest thing I've made, and it just fits on my desk. But I've basically, obviously, those trees that you saw in the video from last night, obviously they've got magnets in the bottom. The board that's over there, I've painted it with black paint that's got filings in it, and I've also glued on top of the board some more iron filings. So the idea is the trees, or the magnets, will magnetise on the board. So when I do come to flock it, again, you'll be able to put the trees down and they should stay where they are. I mean, I've tried it. I think I need more iron filings on the board to make it stronger. You can feel the trees are get magnetised and sort of sticking to the board. But when you pick the board up, you can pick it up, but then obviously if you try and tilt it sort of 45 degrees, they fall off. Well, I kind of wanted it so you can tilt it 45 degrees and they don't fall off. So I might need more iron filings on there. But again, that's why I want to make everything modular and movable, and yeah, magnetised really, just so you can move stuff. Luke, just working with this on my phone next to me, just taking a break for some lunch at the moment. Awesome. I say it's just great to know you guys are sort of having me in the background of whatever you're doing. I'm just sort of there, really, aren't I? Tyler's just brought a few minis to work on for when the students leave. I guess that's a great thing. Yeah, obviously you don't need a big bag to put a few minis in, some paint, a couple of brushes. Yeah, the kind of hobby you can take anywhere. Right, I want out a stick because I'm going to have to measure that for the next one, because obviously I didn't measure it to see how deep it is, and obviously I want to make all the railings the same height, obviously. Yeah. And then he just about fits in. Well, I suppose I'm not sure if he's on the right size base. Because basically I went out and bought washers, loads of washers, because I like having my fingers on washers just because it feels a nice weight. Right, so let's have a little measure so I can measure the next one. Steve, I'll post a pic of your biggest project. It's halfway through. It holds 65 40k models. Wow. That is going to be quite a size. Right, so we are looking at about 11. Maybe 12. 11, maybe 12. That's quite precise. Right, well, today's weather isn't as nice as yesterday. Yesterday, obviously, I had kind of blue sky and sun. Today, it's a bit cloudy. I mean, it's not It's not rain cloudy, but it's certainly cloudy. That should be enough. I was going to say there might be minis with larger bases, may want to have just rail on one side. Although, to be fair, I don't play games, as in Necromunda or any Warhammer games. So, yeah, I'm going to put railings on either side. So that's why I must admit, obviously I like making these kind of things because they are fun. But yeah, I'm never going to play with them. It's kind of a shame, really. I should really sort of like donate them or give them to a games shop or anywhere they play games near me. Well, let's have a little look. See if there are any games sort of places around me. Raven's just finished some paperwork now, having a tidy out, emptying some sprues bits. Yeah, everyone's got loads of sprues. Yeah, they'll fit. As I didn't film the other bit, let's have a little bit. Yeah, fair enough if you don't play. I know I should really. Yeah. But say for me, it is just the whole. I like model making. I like making things. It's just, yeah, it's all fun. I also think if the rails weren't even high, it would add to the lore of the game. Well, I say, especially if this was obviously an Orc refinery, then yeah, having the rails the same height is just a no. Yeah, you shouldn't. I do love Orcs. Solace, wow, you fixed the audio. Nice. Yet you were snarky about me pointing out the quality was bad a couple of days ago. Me? Snarky? No. I think you'll find I'm very much the kind of person that I talk to people how they talk to me. I generally start off all nice and pleasant and all that, and if they have a bit of a tone on them, then yeah, I can quite quickly turn and talk back to people with a tone. Normally a sarcasm tone is my go-to. Rather than snarky, I'd be sarky. Yes, I'm not sure what I've done though, Solace. I've not changed any of my settings. So if I've not changed my settings, this is me being sarky by the way. If I've not changed my settings, it means you've done something different your end. You probably turn the volume up. See, now that's sarky. So yes, not snarky, but sarky. Anyway, let's go out the building. Let's do this sarky bit. So that is going to go sort of there. I think if we should we trim the bottom bit out? Yeah, if I sort of cut a little bit of a ridgy bit in here, just so it sort of slots around the round bit. So this is where, again, having the right tools, what I need is a variety of files, just so I can file it. I was saying that I have got the little rotary gun. Let's have a little looky. Yeah, it's funny. I've got my I've got a corded one of these, but obviously I wanted a cordless one just to make it easier to sort of just pick it up, use straight away, rather than having to plug in. But that typical thing when you go on Amazon and you look at something and think, oh, that's pretty cheap, I'll buy that. And then this thing turns up and obviously it's like half the size of the other thing I've got. And obviously it's not got a lot of power. But again, it's just funny when you buy things online and you expect them to be bigger and then they turn up and you think, oh, wow, that's Diddy. That's what I thought when this thing turned up. Right, so hopefully I've got a few of the tools in here. Just the problem, every now and then I have a bit of a tidy up and I move things. But I kind of forget to tell my brain where I've put them. Right, where would I put them? Here they are. So yes, I hope one of these. With this, I just want to round off the inside just a little bit, just so it fits nice and snug around the what's it. Wasn't that yesterday because the sound same today as yesterday and sounds fine. Yeah, cheers, Raven. Yeah, well, I've had this setup I've had now for the last sort of few days, and yeah, because I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? Someone sort of mentioned the sound was, I think their words were, the sound was too quiet. And it's like, well, if the sound's quiet, it's probably your end, you need to turn the volume up. You'd think would be the logical thing, because obviously, I mean, if everyone had said on my stream, oh, the sound's really low, then fair enough, I would have turned it up. But yeah. Yeah, so this, yeah, obviously I've got a Dremel one, and I wanted a cordless Dremel. But obviously, they're quite expensive to get a cordless one, so I've gone obviously with a name that's just, well, who knows what that name is. And yeah, I didn't even think that the size would be so small. And I say it turned up, and it was like blimey. Because obviously, again, it was cheap. I mean, I can't remember what this cost. It might have only been sort of like £12-15 or so. But yeah, I was a little bit like, okay, it's not quite as big as I thought. David Denham is painting his Night Haunt army. Cool, I'm not sure what that is, but the fact it's an army, it's got haunt, and you're painting it sounds awesome. So yes, the problem with this is it's not obviously particularly fast, and if you put too much pressure against something, it just stops. Kind of meaning it's not really fit for a lot. I mean, I'm hoping it'll be able to do something with this. Yeah, I almost think I'd be better just biting it with my teeth, to be honest. Oh, I don't know, I think it's doing a little bit now. So I need to take a little bit more than that actually. Alright, he's knocking the place to bits. Let's have a little look. That's probably about there, I reckon. So, there we go, done a little line mark. If I sort of take that off, then it should fit nice and snug-ish to it. Age of Sigma ghosts, basically. Ah, okay. Yeah, it was mentioned 2 hours into the stream. Yeah, that's kind of why I think I took whatever they said with a pinch of salt, because like, well, surely if it was too quiet, people would have mentioned that. But yeah, again, you'd kind of think if it is too quiet, have you turned your volume up? But, no, I don't know. Who knows? I say that is the only problem with this little thing. Too much pressure on it, it can't handle it. So I might need to get a different Dremel. So it's just the fact of getting a cordless one, the problem I've got is I've got some power points. They're like underneath the desk, which isn't like a big thing, but it's a bit of a pain. You have to move the seat out of the way, get under there, plug it in, and yeah, because the way the cord is, obviously, when I say under the desk, it's like at the back of the desk, so the cord reaches, but then doesn't go very far. So I almost need an extension, really. Exhibitiness. To be honest, that's exactly the kind of drummer you've been looking for. Size and strength. Not need to worry about melting the model or floating. No. So this, I mean, yeah, it's not really gonna do a lot of damage to you either. Like it's oh. But the good thing is obviously it's a USB charger, so you just charge it up. I would like it to have a bit more strength. Just to say, because honestly, it does stop quite a lot. But again, for what I paid for it, I can't really ask for too much. So it was cheap. Plus, it has kind of done what I wanted to do. Eventually. Right, anyway, that's enough for that. Rightio. Yeah, it's not too bad. Right, now to work out roughly what kind of height. I mean, kind of it right at the top, I guess. Yeah, I think right at the top. Why not? Because basically, what I'm thinking in my head, it'd be nice to have like 3 different sort of heights. So obviously, you've got the ground, have one like quite high up, and then one sort of medium sort of height. So 3 heights. So this is a modular little set, but quite a small one. Obviously, you watch other YouTubers; they make some big, grand things. But I just wanted to make a small one. I say purely to obviously make something out of sprues. So yeah. I think a short one like that would work. But now the question is, do I trim it so it doesn't overhang the board? So then the next one, when that comes up, it has to have one that goes up to its edge, which I think would make more sense rather than this overhang by lots. Yeah, let's have a go at trimming this. Although again, I'm kind of eyeballing this. Not always the best of things to do, but sometimes it is the things I do. Right. This is where you need another pair of hands, really, to sort of come in and hold it all. Oh, does not want to get your pen caught. Right. You are like that. You are like that. That doesn't look too bad. So look. Yep, I can live with that. As my nan used to say, a second-class ride is better than a first-class walk. You get what you pay for. Love it. Yeah, so the good thing with cutting this, obviously, I need to use the cutters to cut the sprue, but the actual walkway will cut, or should cut nicely with a pair of scissors. Yeah, let's just cut it and see. So normally, I am very much the kind of person, I measure twice, cut once. Although generally, I measure about 3-4 times just to really make sure. But when it comes to making terrain that is going to end up looking like a rust bucket, I think sometimes don't worry about measuring twice or once. Don't even measure. Just get in, get cutting, and yeah, see where that sort of takes you. That's quite cool, actually. Just in that one little cut, it's split right across the that centre bit, so that's quite handy because then I can see where it lines up, and that should be. Oh no, I've got the little top bits, obviously. Donut. All right, let's do that and that. Bosh. There she blows. Morgoth, the Halo series Megastruct has a very nice android cyborg and alien figures. Use them as mechs for your Lego UFO command ships. Yeah, I do still like the Mega Construct figures. They are pretty cool. Obviously, I don't do anything with them anymore, but yeah, they were pretty cool. Right, how's that looking? Yeah, I can live with that. Yeah. Although this will need to have some sort of supports, otherwise it will just fall down. Let's actually go from here. Right. We'll hold that for a few minutes and see what happens. What's the time? 1 o'clock. What time did I start? 11. 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to see how much I get done here, but I'm kind of thinking at the very longest, I'm going to stream till about 2. Mainly because I'm getting hungry. So I haven't had breakfast yet today. So I do need breakfast. So yeah, guys, I hope you're all well. There's 35 people on, which is kind of cool. Yeah, good to see you all. Well, obviously I can't really see you, but I can kind of tell you're there because of the numbers. Yeah, any questions, guys, about anything I'm doing or the channel, or even about me? By all means, ask. Yeah, again, if you put it in the your comments, if you can put @miniature hobbyist, just because on my screen it comes up in orange and it just stands out nice and easy for me to see, basically. Obviously, you don't have to ask comments. You can just sit there, chill, do what you're doing, have me on in the background while I obviously merrily carry on sort of trying to build something, really. So yes, this is the first time I'm using the Gundam sprues, just because I think they fit in really well with making obviously handrails. I'm going to use them for sort of pipes that go down the side of the building, side of the tank here. And yeah, I think it makes a nice change from using sort of, well, they're not quite square, obviously, ends on the old Warhammer sprues. But yeah, it makes a nice variety to use different kind of sprues. That doesn't look too bad, actually. It's quite, I mean, it's cut quite well. So yeah, so the next one, it will have whatever it has going on here, and it will have obviously a stairway that will go along and sort of join that. I say just so then when they are together they join, but they can be moved. Yeah, modular, cool. Oh, this is where I should have had some biscuits. I've got no biscuits. Last time I had some biscuits, and they obviously kept me going. I've got no biscuits. Obviously not that I'm going to waste away or anything, but obviously it is nice to have a little snack while I'm working. Right. So yeah, I think for this, obviously most supports have like the old sort of triangular sort of cross members or whatever they're called, just because obviously that is like the strongest. I don't know what to call it. Strongest what? Strongest form? Strongest way of building stuff? I don't know. Raven, yesterday was the first live stream you have caught. Oh, is someone still going on about the sound? Obviously not you, Raven, but the... Yeah, oh well. Anyway, the sound's good now, apparently, so we can all rest easy and sleep well. Right, so yeah, let's have a couple of... And obviously they normally go sort of 45 degrees, seems to be the optimal angle for making things support each other and not fall down. So right, we'll get two the same length and then we will cut the ends off just so they sort of fit in. Oh, look at that, that's quite handy, wasn't it? Cut the thing and it's cut in half. Tata, what happened to the diet? Don't. Yeah, I must admit, I think since I stopped doing all the walks for the other channel, yeah, my eating habits have gone a little bit astray, to say the least. But I say, because I just didn't have enough time to do everything with the other one. There's nothing wrong with the sound. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Is there a troll about, do you think? It could be a troll because the thumbs down's gone to 3 now. It was only 2 before. But as you can see, I'm really not worried. Gosh, have that. Yeah, so anyone who has just joined, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen me putting the ooey gooey stuff into the sprues. And yeah, I'm really pleased how the bases came out. Even with the little potholes, dents and all these bits and pieces, because when I paint this, it is going to have a lot of rust to it. So all these bits, when I paint rust on them, are going to look pretty cool. As in, it'll look like the rust is eaten or has eaten through the metal sort of flooring. So yeah, it's one of those happy little accidents, as Bob Ross would say. So I love watching that. Right, again, I haven't filmed for it a little bit, so let's. Oh no, it's pretty easier. I'll film me turning it on its side. Alright, well, let's go high up because it's not in my face then. So, oh no, we'll have the other side. Cool. Steve, I'm looking and lurking. Can make some good troll terrain with sprues. Yeah, well, I say that's why. Again, if you missed it earlier, obviously, say this side is going to look great when painted. It'll look great as sort of metal sheets with obviously rust in it. But turn it over. Then, if you were to use this side. It looks like it's kind of like an animal texture, or even like stretched skin. So yeah, this would look really good for. My mind's gone blank. Oh, what are they? No, my mind has gone totally blank. I can't think what they are. Nurgles. Oh, get them in the end. Yeah, so this would look great for like Nurgle terrain. So because you could paint this. As though it is sort of they've used skin to make the floor, or it could just look well like sort of an animal texture. But either way, I think that's come out quite cool. Even though won't see that side, we're going to see the sort of industrial terrain side. But yeah, sprues or sprue goo, awesome stuff. Used for all sorts. Right, there we go. So yes, I might have another sort of like a half level platform. going across, and again that will join up to whatever I sort of make on the other one. Just trying to think how I'm going to suspend that on the other side. I say I'm not really going to have like many sort of buildings. It is going to be more sort of scaffolding sort of look to this piece, with obviously pipes and bits and pieces is the sort of plan. But yeah, I have to make some more pipes because these pipes really haven't come out too well. But the good thing is obviously these other little bits and pieces that I've made are going to be good for sort of like end caps. I think would fit quite well on the end there. So cool. So say I'm going to finish this one at 2 at the very latest. So yeah, any questions, guys? Definitely ask. Promise if they come in and just do a thumbs down, I can't do anything. But if they give nasty comments, then I can control the situation. Well, I say the funny thing is, honestly, say YouTube, it sees thumbs down as interaction. It doesn't seem to care if it's a negative interaction or positive interaction. It's an interaction. So even if someone comments on my channel and obviously puts a nasty comment, not that I think I've ever really seen sort of nasty comments, again, YouTube just sees that as interaction. And yeah, it still sees it as a positive, which is cool. Because it means they've taken the time to actually go onto the video, give it a thumbs down. So even if they're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be nasty or whatever, they're not really. So yeah, I don't care. But yeah, so all you guys that are watching, if you can sort of, if you're on a computer or anything that you can log on to 2 different things at once, if you can log on and just click on one of my videos as well, and if you're not watching it, just click on it. Be awesome. Say it all kind of helps out really. Every little bit helps out. What am I doing? Oh, I was going to check something quickly. Oh, my nose. Right, I just want to quickly do something here as well. 2 seconds. Rightio. Yes, Scene, you're right. I didn't notice. I had the camera down low. Cool. Right, let's get back to adding some bits to this. So I think I'm going to do a bit of framework on the other one, just because I want to try and tie up the ladders, which I have to sort of make, obviously, with the other one. But yeah, cool. Right, so I want to do some framework again, and I think I'm going to try and do one that has the circle bit on it. Again, these Gundam sprues are pretty cool. It's nice that they are rounded, so that works really well with these sort of support structures and just sort of general gubbins that I want to do. But yeah, I want to try and get the circling because I think that's a fun looking thing. What I could actually do is it sort of goes across both of them, I guess. Is there a better one with it? Oh, it's got a flatter edge, that might be better. that might work. If I one of your mates is a big fan of the Stomper. Yeah, I did. Yeah, the Stomper was a fun thing to make. I must admit, I did enjoy that. Yeah, especially because I think I made all that Stomper was all in live streams as well. I think, wasn't it? So yeah, it's pretty cool that yeah, you guys got to see every last bit of me making the Stomper. Obviously, it was reduced down for the video, but yeah, I did enjoy the Stomper. Also go the other way around. No, I think we'll stick this bit. Don't want to go too high though, so I might go the height of this, because it can be part of the support as well then. So yeah, let's cut some of these bits off, and then we can cut it to the right height once I've got the other one done. Oh, what's that bit on the back? Oh, let's chop it off. Brush. Cool. Right, so we'll make the other sort of runway plank walkway thingy. I might keep this little off-cut bit because that might go somewhere. Could even just go there, I guess. Maybe. Right, so we'll get this one done and then we'll stick the other bits on. So again, as I always find, guys, if you are watching this, you're thinking, oh, blimey, he's been going for a couple of hours and he's not got much made. It is because when I do live streams, obviously I do a lot more chatting with you guys and a lot less, obviously, building and making. So, yeah, I do build normally a lot quicker than this, obviously. But obviously, it's more fun having you guys there in the background asking questions. Yeah, and just being there, really. Zine, this is the first live stream managed to catch. Guess I'll to join Discord to keep up to date. Yeah, again, I know when obviously you guys subscribe, click on the bell, YouTube still doesn't always let people know that I'm on, or even when I'm doing when a video comes out. I don't know why. It just doesn't always seem to inform people. But hey ho. YouTube and its wonderful ways. So again, it's not worth me filming this bit because obviously I don't need to film me making another walkway because I've already filmed one. Good old fingers getting stuck to everything. Let's try that. But generally when I do this on a desk, it then gets stuck to the desk. Right, let's keep moving it around. Oh man. Right. So keep moving it so it doesn't stick to the desk. That was not sticking to anything, that one. Right, whilst doing that, let's make some more handrail thingies. Oh, still one good one there, if that's long enough. It's not long enough. Probably do. Take off. I need super glue activator. Yeah, well, I did use the old bicarbonate of soda a few times, but I found the smell of that was just so strong. Yeah, I couldn't use it anymore. But yeah, because you can get is it just water? So I've seen some people use some sort of glue and then a little spray of water or something, and a few little like sprays, and it just, like I say, hardens straight away. So yeah, I'd possibly need to look into something. But so I have used the bicarbonate of soda, the little like white powder you put on. But I find obviously that then gets on your hands, and honestly the smell from that, I find that smell just so strong. So yeah, I don't use that at all. Zine, my favourite thing about super glue is holding everything in place, cautiously applying it, then letting go to find I've stuck myself to the model. Yes. That is definitely more of what I'm doing at the moment, I think. It's definitely sticking to me. How are the nibbly knobbly bits treating me today? Yeah, Penstar, yeah, there's nibbly knobbly bits all over my desk. And last night I put all the nibbly knobbly bits from the day into my jar, and obviously now nibbly knobbly bits are ooey gooey sprue stuff. So, yeah. How long do I think this would normally take? Not including drying time. Are you talking about me making this as a whole? Again, because generally what I normally do is, I normally have about 3 or 4 projects on the go. So I would work on one, do some bits. Obviously when it needs to be drying, or if the paint needs drying, or glue needs drying, whatever needs drying, I'd put it to one side and I'd work on something else. So it's very rare that I would start a project and solely work on the one project. Come on. So yeah, I normally have, say, a few on the go. It's hard to say. I do know that when obviously I'm doing a live stream, I am chatting more, and because I'm chatting, I'm not thinking as much about what I'm doing. So it does take a lot longer to do whatever it is I'm doing. Whereas if I was just here on my own, like everything I've done this morning, so what, I've been live streaming for nearly 2.5 hours. I probably would have achieved what I've done in 2.5 hours in half hour, maybe. So, 'cause all I've really done is glued a few bits to that tank, cut a few bits up there. Yeah, I reckon I would have done what I've done in about half an hour, instead of sort of nearly 2.5 hours. But again, I don't mind, because I have fun when you guys are here and I'm chatting away. So yeah, so it doesn't really bother me. Again, this hobby for me isn't really about getting things knocked out in a sort of a certain amount of time. It's more about the enjoyment I get from thinking of something, having a go at trying to make it, especially when I'm trying to make things from sprues, because it is a little bit difficult, or not difficult, but you have to think a bit more when you're making things from sprues, as opposed to making something from like trash or garbage or junk, or making it from like a set. So yes, it's all about the making rather than doing it quickly. Because if it was about doing it quickly, I wouldn't probably have a live stream, because I would want to make things straight away. Because I know when I live stream, I am going to be a lot slower. But yeah, I love making things. I love live streaming now, actually. It's quite fun. Yeah, let's go for that one. It seems to work quite well at that height. So, is anyone out there currently watching me eating anything nice? Because I am starting to get hungry now. I haven't really had breakfast. I've had 2 bananas this morning, and I am now feeling ravenous. Not sure what I'm going to eat, because I've not really got a lot in the house, so I'm going to have to go to the shops, I think. But yeah, is anyone out there currently eating anything right now that is nice, just to make me even more sort of desperate for food? Because I'm hungry. Stop sticking to my finger. Yeah, I think I might pop to Tesco's, buy some burgers. They do some really nice burgers down there. I think they're like Angus burgers, but they've got like red onion or something in them, and they're really nice. So I might get some of those. They do some lovely rolls down there. Again, I can't think what the rolls are called, but they're the nice ones. Sort of melt in your mouth rolls, and get some sort of cheese. So yeah, I think I'm going to go make myself a nice cheeseburger. Right, I'll give that a few seconds to dry, and then I can cut that up. Again, is that a name? Exenius? So I'm just tripping over my own tongue. So, because my nose is blocked as well, doesn't help. And trying to say a word that's got X's and bits in it, never a good idea. You just had some nice chicken tikka with rice from the local garage. Nice, I like chicken tikka. Zine's just had a grilled cheese sarnie. Had them on my lunch break. Yeah, I could do. Again, I do like cheese. Steve, we both have the insight to look at something and say, yeah, that will go there. Well, it is, I say, because this kind of hobby and what I'm making here doesn't need to be precise. So yeah, it doesn't. You can just eyeball a lot of it, which is kind of cool. Best part of the home office is making your own lunch. It is, except to say I've not got a lot in my flat at the moment. So yeah, so whatever I get, I need to go to the shops basically. But the only problem about going to the shops is when you're hungry, I do tend to get things I shouldn't get. It's like the thing I keep getting now, I don't know why I'm doing it, but nearly every time I go to the shops, So like once, twice a week, I pick up. They do obviously the ice cream, but they do like a flake ice cream, and basically it's like having a 99. It's like the ice cream is the lovely sort of vanilla, but obviously it's got loads of bits of flake in it. So I've been getting one of them, and obviously they're like the fairly sized sort of big tubs. But obviously I'll get it. I'll come back. I generally leave it in the fridge, just because it almost turns into a milkshake. So it's like a lovely vanilla milkshake with flake bits in it. And so obviously I'll just sit there and I'll just eat that in one go. But I say I need to get out of the habit. But I know now I'm going to go to the shop in a minute, and I'm going to come back with a flake ice cream. I don't want to, but I will. And it's like yeah, so Steve, friends of yours come round and they're amazed at what you make, and then you explain what you've made them out of. Yeah, again, that's why I love obviously making things out of sprues. I love trash building as well. Just because when you make it, again, you look at it and you think you can see it's made of sprues and bits of sort of Gundam sprues. But then when you paint something, again, you can make plastic look like metal. I mean, you can paint it to make it look like wood. So when you paint it, it really just takes on a whole new look. And again, that's why I always think whenever I make something, if I look at it and think, yeah, it's not bad, you kind of then know that when you put paint on it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm pleased with that now. Just because, yeah, things do need paint on them. Just like I need a burger in my tummy. Probably followed by a flake ice cream. I say, I know I don't want to get one, but I know there's no way I can walk around Tesco's and not go to the aisle and pick one up. Right, is this dried yet? Because I want to get a bit more done. So again, I say something. Whenever I do a live stream, I always feel like I haven't really got much done, and it's generally because I haven't really got much done. Especially when I want to get this video out on Friday, and obviously I can't get it out unless I make it really. I say I think tomorrow I'm not going to do a live stream. I think tomorrow I am going to crack on, get this built tomorrow. With the intention of trying to get it built tomorrow evening. Yeah, because on Friday I'm out at a wedding, so I want to get the video done by Thursday, just so I can get the video done, get it all prepped, ready to put on, so it'll go on Friday. So yeah, so it probably won't be a premiere on Friday, because I won't be getting back till late. Oh, pardon me, on Friday. Right. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Alright, let's leave that to dry a bit longer. Oh yeah, what bit was I using for that? Oh, there it is. God, yeah, I chopped it up and then threw it away. Was that the bit I was going to use? Yeah, I think so. Cool. Right, so I think the plan was to have this on here and then attach that to it. Obviously I'm going to do a bit more of a sort of support kind of thingy. This is the general gist of what I'm going for. So I'm thinking it needs to go in a little bit like that. Yeah, cool. Again, hold this for a little bit. I say the only problem with this glue is that it's cheaper glue than obviously this really small super glue you get, but this one does say set time 5 to 15 seconds, and I think they kind of they're a bit optimistic because it's definitely more than 15 seconds to 25 seconds, I think. apart from when it's your fingers, and then obviously it's like 0.1 of a second and you're glued. Yeah, so this is going to be a industrial sort of refinery, sort of Necromunda sort of style. So good old sort of grim dark and all that. So yes, I'm going to have lots of, well, sort of structure supports bits and pieces rather than actual buildings. I'll just hold it again. So, I kind of ask this all the time, but where have we got guys from? Or girls? So, do we have anyone here from New Zealand, Australia sort of way? Or Hong Kong, Thailand? Or anyone still from America here? Because I know obviously in America it is like early in the morning. But say it's always nice to know where you guys are from. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you guys are from Europe, as well as obviously the UK. Right, I think that's possibly dried now. Yeah, I ran out of drink as well, man. I got no drink, no biscuits, got nothing. I'm famished, wasting away. The power of imagination at work. Looking forward to the finished part. Me too. Yes, Mr. Nice Guy 1233. I'm looking forward to the finished part because again, in my head, rough idea, and we're talking a very rough idea because. Quite often when I'm building something, I will actually sort of draw plans and have a very good idea of where it's going. But I find when I'm scratch building or building with sprues, then yeah, I generally have a rough idea and then I kind of go with the flow and see sort of where it ends up really. I say this is going to be very industrialised, lots of tubes, piping, obviously framework, a few. I might say small buildings. They're not exactly buildings. They are going to be like a square box with a door on it, kind of building. Alexandra Gonzalez Blandon, Venezuela, awesome. I'm sure you're going to have better weather or nicer, warmer weather than I've got. I say it's not raining, and I can't see any blue sky. It's cloudy, but it's the kind of light clouds where it shouldn't rain. But again, UK, things could change within 5 minutes. It could be dark clouds, thunder, lightning. It could be thunder, lightning yesterday afternoon, even though we had blue skies in the morning. But yeah, so welcome, Alexander. Nice to see someone from Venezuela, which is pretty cool. But yeah, obviously looks like there's no one from down under, because if it's down under, I know, because it'd be like 1:30 in the morning, or half midnight, New Zealand sort of time, I think. But you know, there might still be sort of someone here from sort of down under, who knows. Anyway, I'm waffling. Right, this is finally dried-ish. Right, so let's chop that top one off. Bosh. Yeah, so obviously the plan is that this is going to be modular. So when these three bits are together, I might have this running all the way along all three. I'm not sure. So yeah, well I might actually put that bit that came off, because obviously this got cut off from there, so I know this bit should line up nicely. And the fact that that one isn't long enough to do all, span all the way across, it kind of makes sense using this. Right, so, again, waiting for glue to dry. It's a pain sometimes, isn't it? Raven. Ping! So yeah, so that was a bit that got cut off, so it makes sense to have that bit there because it fits lovely. What we'll do when the support stays up. So I hope we've all given the old thing a thumbs up, guys. Because it's a little thing to do, but it really does help the channel out so much by pushing that thumbs up button. And yeah, guys, go check out my other videos. There's quite a lot on there. especially if you are into sprue builds, there is a playlist with loads of videos. Well, basically all the videos that I've made things with sprues. So yeah, it's quite a lot of choice there because I have made quite a lot now over the time with sprues. It's amazing how many videos you make. And so I think I've had the channel about 14 months now, so just over a year. Yeah, it's quite a lot of videos there. Oh man, keep knocking it off. Yeah, I think I might need to look into sort of. Say, I've seen people use a spray applicator to obviously make the glue dry so much quicker. I think I may need to look into that. It's weird because, say, some days, I mean, it must be, I've got the windows open. Basically, I always have the windows open. So it is quite cold in here. So I'm guessing when it's cold, glue takes longer to dry. Because generally the glue does dry quicker than this. But for some reason, it's yeah, it's on a bit of a go slow. I'm going to leave it for a bit because I think I keep messing about and it's just obviously going to keep falling off. So we'll leave that for a little second. So the other thing I wanted to make was a small little ramp just to have a third sort of level. Yeah, so I think I'd say I'm not going to get a whole lot done because I need to make some more tubes. So I want to have quite a lot of tubes on this. Again, because I want it to look like a refinery. So I think it needs an abundance of tubes. So I need to make quite a lot of those. And again, they're the kind of thing that I can make today, but I'll need to leave overnight for them to obviously harden back up. So they'll be done tomorrow. So that's why I think tomorrow I'm looking at doing the whole sort of build, or getting the whole build done tomorrow. So yes, I'm not going to do a live stream tomorrow just because I really want to make sure I've got enough time to get the whole thing built. And then tomorrow evening, ideally, I'd want to be painting it. So again, if you guys... For those who are patrons, you'll see pictures of this now when I'm building the rest of this, so the rest of the afternoon and tomorrow. I'll be taking pictures of this, putting them on Patreon. So if you want to consider supporting the channel, guys, become a patron. You can do it for £2 a month. And again, it helps me out no end because I take whatever money I get from Patreon, I buy more stuff with, whether it's glues or the resins, the liquid rubber. Or basically anything flocking or whatever I use to build stuff on this channel. Basically, I buy stuff with what I get from the patrons. So the patrons get to see behind the scenes pictures of what I'm working on. And I am now also going to be building at least once a month. I'm going to build something with sprues, but I'm going to build what the patrons have decided. So yeah, if you want to have a decision in what I build each month, yeah, become a patron. And you can suggest what I build. So, because a lot of the builds I will be doing each month now will be general sort of tabletop builds. I'm going to build some more larger bits that are like terrain based. So you'll be seeing a lot more sort of flocking. I'll be making like rockery, like cliff face sort of things. I'll also be doing a lot more with water effects because I want to build sort of like ponds, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so in regards to sprue builds, I'm only going to be doing, well, I'll be doing at least one sprue build a month, and that will be determined and decided by my patrons, basically. So yeah, once a month they'll all sort of decide what they want me to make, and then we'll obviously sort of vote on which one, and whichever one gets the most votes is what I will be building. So that's going to be quite fun to see, leaving what I build in the hands of patrons. So it'll be quite cool. So yeah. Right, as this finally dried, have I waffled on enough for it to have dried? Oh, let's cut this other one down. Although, yeah, this hasn't... Yeah, I might have to shut the windows because I'm not too sure if it's because it's cold in here. Things just aren't drying at all. Keep your glue in the fridge. Keep it nice and fresh from drying out. Okay. Don't know about that. Yeah. I'm not going to keep it in the fridge. That sounds nuts, man. Nuts. Right. So normally, obviously, I hold on to the bits so they don't fly off, but sometimes it is fun to cut them and just see where they go. Obviously, that one's hit my screen and then just bounced somewhere behind me. this one as well, but we will hold on to that one. Yeah, I think what I might do actually, guys, is end it any minute now. Just because, I say, this glue's taking forever to dry. And I think my tummy is going to start rumbling soon because I am hungry. What's the time? It's like 20 to 2. And I've had 2 bananas. And these are like diddy little bananas. So yeah, I fancy going to Tesco's, buying myself some nice burgers and some cheese. Maybe some spicy cheese, because I like spicy cheese. And yeah. So guys, if you want to see any more of this build and basically any images of what I'm working on other stuff, become a patron. So it helps me out and you get to see some behind the scenes stuff and you get your name in the credits on my videos. Well, not necessarily in the credits, but you'll get to see your name somewhere on one of my videos. Yeah, guys, cheers for being there. It's been fun. But say, I'm going to go and get something to eat before I start eating sprues, which probably isn't a good idea. So, right, let's just have a quick check. Yeah, cheers guys, thanks for being there. I say I am still aiming to get this done and complete and out on Friday basically, so yeah, keep an eye out for it there. Okay guys, thanks for watching, it's been fun, you guys take care, bye for now.